Because Mike McDaniel was supposed to come earlier this week and have a second interview with the Browns. He obviously canceled that interview, and then it was reported he was going to go to the Chargers to become their offensive coordinator. Then earlier this morning, or last night, I'm not sure exactly when the reports came out, Diana Rossini tweeted that the Browns will be interviewing Mike McDaniel
The
Bills will be interviewing Mike McDaniel for their open head coaching job per source. Second line's what's really important here. McDaniel is still pursuing head coaching opportunities, but if none pan out, he will become the Chargers.
Yeah. So at first we thought, okay, he's just rejecting everybody, but no, he's just rejecting the Browns.
Of course he wants to be head coach again.
And the Raiders, which were the other teams
the Raiders,
yeah. For.
So he doesn't. He obviously doesn't like Mendoza.
Jason was, do you think part of the reason he may have said, "Nah, I have no interest in the Browns," is I don't want to work with Schwartz? Like, could that be?
I have no idea.
It's more likely to be other things.
I think it's just the totality of the situation more than Schwartz specifically.
Yeah, that's unlikely to be that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, if he says, okay, I'm going to be a Chargers offensive coordinator and I'm going to go back to California, it's hot out there, it's cool. Hey, let's do that. I got my aviators.
With Buffalo.
And then here's the thing. The elephant in the room is if Buffalo comes to you and say, hey, what do you think about Josh Allen? You got to go if you're a coordinator and that is what you do preferably, you're a mad scientist. If there's a list of coaching job that comes available with certain quarterbacks at the top of the list, you're going to talk to him. It is what it is.
I mean, Buffalo, I don't know if he gets the job there, but if you're going to have a good fit for McDaniel, it's probably Buffalo.
Right. Because you have, I think, and here's another thing too. I think there's less of a need for a very overtly dominant and super out there head coach if you have a quarterback. Because once you have the quarterback, right, or you know who the solidified leader is.
He's the leader, right, yeah.
He's taking all the shots. He's taking it, when you win, it's him. So you can be in the background. But when you come to a team like this with the Browns where you don't have a solidified answer, you got a young quarterback room. You got a quarterback room in question marks. You still got to rebuild all these pieces on the offensive line. You're going to be the guy answering these questions, not the young dudes.
Right,
so the spotlight is on you in a way where you're like, I don't really want to go from that to that. And that's okay. It's fine. It's just where you at in your life at that point in time.
I'm trying to think who would be a good candidate. I don't think the Bills are hiring Grant Udzinski. I don't think they're putting
no chance.
No, they can't. No, they can't
if
afford
anything,
to do that.
I'll be stunned.
Could that be an OC interview?
That's exactly what I think it is. I think that could be more of an OC type interview. I can't believe that a team in the middle of its Super Bowl window right now would put the franchise in the hands of a 30-year-old.
I don't buy that it's an OC interview though, because if you got I just feel like you had a defensive coach. Don't you need to hire an offensive head coach?
Yeah, I think that's why they're looking at Mike McDaniel.
Right.
But I don't even know that that's I don't know. I don't see McDaniel and Josh Allen fitting together.
No, it's the same thing with Shador. McDaniel wants you to play on time. Like his system is.
Any decent coach is going to adjust to the talent he has.
I get that, but I'm just saying the strengths of what Josh Allen does and has become arguably the best quarterback in football does not necessarily pair with the offensive system.
This idea of offensive systems is stupid. If you're a head coach who cannot adjust to your talent, you shouldn't be a head coach.
But this is how it is. Like these guys come in
then
with
they're bad head coaches.
Okay, well that's the way the NFL's been going. Like these guys have their systems and they run their. We've said for years, you mold the talent around the quarterback and you mold your system around the talent you have. Yeah. That's great to say in theory. In reality, a lot of these guys, know what you're getting.
Well, Bill Belichick did it.
In certain people, that is a skill set.
Yeah.
Like, that's a talent to be able, like, if you come in with you may have a set of concepts and game things that you like to run, whether it's, zone schemes, whether it's route combinations, whether you like to use a vertical passing attack or your West Coast and quick three-step stuff. That is in your mind, but the talent comes from being able, all right, so I know this guy isn't that great at X, Y, and Z. Well, let me tailor what I know how to do best in terms of my concepts around what he does. That takes a level of skill and imagination. Like, some people just not able to do that. Like, one of the things that Josh McDaniels does so well in New England, he's not a great head coach because I think he's
a terrible head coach.
because of his personality.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what head coach is personality. The X's and O's stuff comes secondary, but when you're a coordinator,
Yeah.
Your strong suit is I can just dial in. Coach Patton said, hey, when I could dial in and just do football.
Yeah.
And when I just do football, that's my thing.
Right.
But certain people can't mix the two. Certain coordinators can't be head coaches, and certain head coaches don't really make good coordinators.
I think Brian Daboll makes the most sense for Buffalo. Obviously it didn't end well with the Giants, but he's got a relationship with Allen.
Yeah.
He nurtured Allen and helped him get to the player he is.
Yeah, that's probably where I would guess
He's
that
who
they
I'd
land.
want if I were Josh Allen, I assume.
I think Josh Allen will end up picking. Like, guys like that, Josh
have a
Allen
loud
will
voice.
Allen's
probably
been
pick.
in all the meetings.
the idea that they're hiring Grant Udinsky, a 30-year-old, if I'm Josh Allen, what?
I don't think. Jason, we've been talking about it. You weren't here on Monday. Do you have so you got Schwartz and you got Udinsky, but you also have Scheelhaase. If you look at this, there could be a combination of both. Schwartz could be a coordinator, and one of them could be a head coach. But then Schwartz could be the head coach, and one of them could be a coordinator. Which, at this point, would you prefer?
I'm going based on the people who work in the league, and I was on Scheelhaase early, so I'm gonna stick with it. I don't think Udinsky would be bad, but remember a few weeks ago we had a conversation where I was talking to somebody and said, who should they hire or who will they hire? And he thought they should hire Scheelhaase, but they will hire McDaniel. And obviously that's not, it didn't pan out that way. But I've heard good things on both of those young guys. Scheelhaase and Udinsky. Sort of what you said, Scheelhaase is a little bit older.
Yeah.
And the McVay thing on the resume is real.
Yeah. All his coaches are at least solid.
Guys want to go work for Sean McVay because if you can put McVay on your resume, it opens doors.
And Sean McVay pulled him from Matt Campbell, who has a great reputation in college.
But I do think that we need to stop. Like, everybody's looking for the next Sean McVay. Guys, there's not another Sean McVay.
He's one of one.
Yeah. That's like, I don't want to put him in. I'm going to regret saying this. It's like, who's the next LeBron? There is no other LeBron.
Right. No.
Like,
but look at this. Like,
I would say,
as much as I don't like Zach Taylor, he's at least an okay head coach. Liam Cohen did a great job as a rookie. Kevin O'Connell's been great. Staley wasn't great with the Chargers, but let's face it.
He started off great.
Yeah, Harbaugh hasn't done anything with the Chargers in the playoffs either. These guys all have great reputations, or at least solid reputations, and so and again, so does Matt Campbell out of college, and that's why I like the combination.
Yeah,
and I like Scheelhaase, and yes, in an ideal world, he keep Jim Schwartz as his head coach, and as I said yesterday,
as head coach, or
as his coordinator.
Yeah.
What I said yesterday is I don't want to do Schwartz and then one of these guys as a coordinator, because then in a year or two they're gone. They might be here 1 year and then they're gone with another head coach.
Yeah.
And Scheelhaase, the good news with Scheelhaase, if you like him, as Jason does, as I do, the Ravens were one of the teams I was most worried about. Like, even though it doesn't really make sense, and now they've hired somebody. So
Minter's off the board. Scheelhaase was going to interview with them again.
Right. So Scheelhaase was also interviewing with who? Pittsburgh
and the Raiders.
Like, I could see the Steelers hiring Scheelhaase because they hiring a coach.
Do not be amping him up like that, bro.
Okay, Scheelhaase sucks, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't hire him. He's terrible.
He's going to
be an awful head coach.
Man, we do not. But what I like most, first of all, I don't got no hunches. Like, at the end of the day, if one of the three, I wouldn't have no problem with any of the three. I'm going to roll with what they got. I like the three names. It's cool. I can see an advantage for all of them. My advantages that I would speak for Scheelhaase is, first of all, I like the fact that he was a quarterback. I like the fact that he was an offensive coordinator in college. I love the fact that he is in the McVay tree, and I love uber love the fact that he is the passing game coordinator. The one thing that I've been wanting for the Cleveland Browns since the beginning of the time is I want to turn on the 1 o'clock game, because the Browns be playing in the 1 o'clock, and I want to see our routes, and then I want to turn the 4 o'clock game, and I want to see the same level of routes. Like, ooh, the Browns. I want to see them same routes. And if you watch the Rams, it's annoying because it seems like the Rams change their offense every year. They started off outside zones with stuff, and then they put people in motion. But the thing about the Rams that always seems to be open, they had Cooper Kupp, he was wide open. Then they got Puka Nacua, he wide open. Then they had Devontae Adams, he's still wide open. Yeah. And I'm like, I want them routes. Now, granted, they got Matt Stafford.
Can we take Matt Stafford? Can he take Matt Stafford?
That's a little kind of a thing.